AITA for being upset that my wife believed her friend's accusations that I was cheating while I was working overtime? I'm 31 and my wife is 29. We had our daughter last December. The birth was difficult and afterward my wife developed postpartum depression. She's been struggling with it for several months and has been going to therapy every week. She planned to return to work after having the baby, but given how she's been doing, we decided it would be better for her to stay home until our daughter turns 1. Then we'd reassess things. Because she's been home, I've taken on more hours at work. This was something we discussed before making the decision, so my wife knew that I'd have to work more to keep things financially stable. A few weeks ago, my boss offered me a project that would require a lot of overtime for a short period. It was a good opportunity financially and could also help my career, so I talked it over with my wife. She agreed that I should take it. For the original 4 weeks, my MIL and my wife's best friend, Jessie 29, agreed to help out around the house and with the kids. Jessie is a stay-at-home mom with 2 young children of her own, so she would come over during the day and help my wife with our daughter. About 3 weeks into the project, my boss told me we'd need a few extra weeks to finish everything. I went home and talked to my wife about it, and she said she was okay with extending the project. Over the next few days, she seemed more distant. That wasn't completely unusual because she'd been having a difficult time emotionally, so I tried not to take it personally. During the final week of the project, I came home one evening and noticed Jessie was still at our house. I said hello to both of them and went to check on our daughter. Before I reached her room, I heard Jessie say something like, "He doesn't even stop to greet you." That's definitely a sign. I turned around and asked what she meant. My wife immediately started crying, and Jessie accused me of having an affair. She said my increased overtime was suspicious and suggested that I wasn't attracted to my wife anymore because of the weight she gained during pregnancy. I've been doing my best to support my wife through everything she's been dealing with, while also working to provide for our family. And as far as her appearance goes, I still find my wife attractive. Our sex life has changed since having a baby, but I haven't pressured her about it because I know she's been struggling. Jessie then demanded to see my phone. I told her she had no right to go through it. I did tell my wife, however, that if she wanted to look at my phone, I would let her. She agreed. That honestly hurt more than I expected. I understood that my wife had been going through a lot, but seeing that she was actually worried that I might be cheating made me realize how much this situation had affected our trust. My wife looked through my phone and, unsurprisingly, found nothing. Jessie then suggested that I must have deleted the evidence. At that point, the conversation became too heated. Jessie started raising her voice, which woke our daughter, so I asked Jessie to leave. Once she left, I settled our daughter back down while my wife stayed in the living room. After our daughter was asleep again, I sat down with my wife and tried to talk things through. She admitted that she'd been worried ever since I started working so much overtime. She thought it was strange that the project had been extended and had started wondering if there was another reason I was staying late. I reminded her that we'd already talked about the project and that she'd agreed it was a good opportunity. She still wanted reassurance, so I showed her my work messages and emails, including the timestamps, along with my pay stubs showing the overtime. Once she saw everything, she apologized and said she believed me. She explained that Jessie had been telling her that my behavior was full of signs that I was cheating. I asked my wife why she had believed Jessie instead of coming to me with her concerns. She didn't really have an answer. The project has been over for a couple of weeks now, and I've actually cut back on my hours. I'm trying to spend more time with my wife and daughter and get things back to normal.